Rogers Trough Trailhead is located in the Superstition Mountains just east of Phoenix, Arizona, and is accessed from US 60 just east of Florence Junction. From Florence Junction, go east on US 60 about 2 miles and then turn left onto Queen Valley Road. Go straight on Queen Valley Road about 2 miles and then make an angled right onto HEWITT Junction Road 357, which unfortunately very quickly goes from blacktop to gravel. Follow HEWITT Station Road about 3 miles and then make a left onto JK Road 172. Follow 172 about 8 miles and then bear right onto 172A, which will be the Rogers Trough Trailhead Road. And please turn around every once in a while and look behind you as you make the climb at the beautiful view of the Superstitions. Those last 3 miles on 172A will be quite challenging, and I highly recommend a high clearance 4-wheel drive vehicle in order to make it up some of the steep grades. But after those 3 miles, you'll be rewarded by a pleasant entrance into the trailhead parking lot, which has plenty of parking for cars. One of the great things about the Rogers Trough Trailhead are the several excellent trails that can be accessed from it. The Arizona Trail passes through here, so it can be hiked either northbound or southbound from here. The West Pinto Trail breaks off about a quarter mile after the trailhead and heads towards Oak Flats, and the Rogers Canyon Trail breaks off after about a mile. What I'll describe on this video is about a 20-mile loop that combines the Rogers Canyon, the Frog Tanks Trail, and the Rivas Ranch Trail to make a really fantastic loop. Departing from the trailhead to the north, you'll immediately begin descending spectacular Rogers Canyon with a great view of the Superstitions. After about a mile and a half, you'll come to a trail junction of the Rogers Canyon and the Rivas Ranch Trail. Bear left and continue along Rogers Canyon. We'll return to this trailhead later when we complete the loop. After hiking just a little over 2.5 miles, you'll come to some 600-year-old Salado Indian cliff dwellings that are truly spectacular. It's a little bit of a scramble up the hillside to see them up close, and of course when you do get there, make sure you practice leave no trace principles. But this is really a great spot just to sit back and reflect on the scenery around. Right at the base of the cliff dwellings, there's a nice little spring that has very pure, crystal clear water, but of course always treat water that you find along the trail. The trail continues west past the cliff dwellings on its way to Angel Basin. It's just a few steps away, and along the way there's plenty of really great campsites, including a few right at Angel Basin that have just tremendous vistas. From Angel Basin, head north on the Frog Tank Trail, number 112. This follows the creek bed, and you'll have to do a fair amount of boulder hopping for quite a ways. The good thing about it is there's a number of water sources along here, so don't load up too much on water before you start going up the Frog Tank Trail. About 1.5 miles before the Plow Saddle Trail intersection, the Frog Tank Trail curves away up a bit of a grade and then follows a nice contour with just phenomenal vistas along here. The views of the ridge lines of the Superstitions are just spectacular, and once you get up the grade, it's fairly easy hiking along the contour. When you come to the intersection with the Plow Saddle Trail, there's a very confusing sign marker here. Actually, you bear right here. The arrow pointing left is for hikers that are going counterclockwise around a circle, and in our case we're going clockwise around the loop trail. About 1.5 miles after the intersection of the Plow Saddle Trail, we'll come to the Rivas Ranch Trail 109 intersection, where you'll want to bear right. After about 1.2 miles on the Rivas Ranch Trail, you'll arrive at the intersection with the Rivas Gap Trail and the Arizona Trail, and here you'll want to continue straight towards Rivas Ranch.
I'm on the Rivas Ranch Trail. Just got past the gap with, or the Rivas Gap intersection.
As you enter the Rivas Ranch area, the terrain will change to more of a pastoral meadow type of vegetation. Lots of pine trees, trees in general. The Rivas Creek here is one of the few perennial creeks in the Superstitions. It's actually fed by an aquifer, so the vegetation in the area really flourishes, and it's a really green and glorious area. Do be aware of the critters, however. As I was coming into the Rivas Ranch, I came across this 5-foot gopher snake crossing the path right in front of me. He moved out of my way, I moved out of his way, but they're not the kind of thing that you really want to mess with, even though they're not venomous. When you arrive in the Rivas Ranch area, the broad meadows really make for ideal camping. There's a number of great campsites in the area, although it's very popular and you may have to compete for them with other people. One of the nice things about camping in Rivas Ranch is the availability of water from the perennial Rivas Creek. It's a little shallow in spots, but it's been running both the times that I've been up there, and the water is very easily treated. It's not muddy or anything like that. On this trip, I stocked up with water from the creek and then continued to climb up to the top of the saddle and camped on the top of the saddle. There's some really great camp spots up there. The only downside is it can be a little breezy on the saddle point. About a mile below the saddle is Elias Rivas' grave. Do make sure you stop in and pay your respects. About a mile after the Elias Rivas grave, you'll come again to the Rogers Canyon intersection, make a left here, and after a little over a mile, you'll find yourself back in the trailhead and your car.